Hello. Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay, Gautam has joined. Perfect. Okay, before proceeding, any questions do you have? Anything you want to discuss? Any confusion? Okay, I think we can start now. It's covered enough. What I was taking. Okay, fine. Okay, I think others are joining. Let's wait for 1 minute. Just fine. Okay, fine. I think it's 7. Is it 7 now? I'm not sure. My system is showing wrong time or my mobile is showing wrong time. Anyone? What's the time on your watch?
Yeah, 7-1.
7:01. Okay, so I think
Yeah.
there's some issue with my mobile. Okay, fine. I think we should start now. Any questions before proceeding on any of the topics or in generic any questions you have? Okay. If you don't have any question, no issues. Let's proceed. But if you have any question down the line, you are free to ask at any moment. Okay. Fine. So sources of data. Okay. So this is again something which comes under the bucket of extraction. Okay. Extraction of ETL. Okay. So sources of data. There may be heterogeneous sources. There may be homogeneous sources of data. Okay. Now, here you can see that I have mentioned sources as MS SQL Server, any other database, data migration from legacy systems, HR database, assets, revenues, tax, fees, online reviews. Okay. So this totally depends on the project in which you are working. Fine. So, but these are some of the possible sources from where you can get the data. I think I'm getting some noise. Okay. You can get data. Okay, these are the possible sources. So again, I'm repeating, I think I have mentioned yesterday as well. Don't think that you will get data only in .csv file, .dat file, .txt file or whatever. No, there might be any sources of data. Maybe you can get data in Microsoft SQL Server. Source team will send data in Microsoft SQL Server. So from this, you have to load data. Maybe if you are working in Oracle database, so you have to move this in Oracle database. Okay. Data migration from legacy systems. Okay. Sometimes the requirement is they want to move from one system or one database to another database. They're not interested in applying any transformation logic. I have worked in one of the project. So their requirement was that they don't want to apply any logic, nothing. They just want to move data from one system to another system. It is like you are staying in Delhi, okay, and you got transferred to Bangalore, okay. So you will pack all your household items, right, and you will shift that to Bangalore, okay. So once you will reach Bangalore, you will just check that all the items, all the boxes which you have packed in Delhi, it is there in Bangalore. That's all, right? But sometime like once you are going to stay in the new city, okay, you are starting from scratch, then you will start thinking that okay, what kind of fridge I have to take, what kind of washing machine I have to take, bed, sofa, and all those things, right? So there you are applying your logic that okay, this should be like this, so this color will match with this this fridge or this carpet and all those things, right? We do all the calculations there. So data migration is like you are moving data from one system to another system. No transformation logic. Generally, there are no transformation logic. But maybe in some project they will try to apply few logics, but generally data migration project, no transformation logics are there. A straightforward, you have to move data from one system to another system. Okay, and you have to confirm the data which you have moved, it's working, it's to all the data has been loaded in the target system or not. Okay, and this is an important aspect. Don't think that data migration is a very simple thing, so this is not of that much importance. No, most of the organizations here and there they have this data migration project, because always they want to move from older system or legacy system to new system. So there, as a tester, you have to validate the data which has moved is working correctly or not. Okay, sorry, not working, and all the data has been loaded or not. Okay, now I have a question. Okay, those who know SQL, okay, so just think and tell me. I have a system A, and from there I move data to system B. I have 100 records in system A, and the data has been moved to system B. How I can assure that all the data has been moved to system B? What is the SQL query you should write for that?
Source minus target.
Perfect.
Target
Source minus target.
target.
Okay, yeah. Source minus target or target minus source, you can write. But better is to write a query like source minus target union target minus source. So that will assure you that nothing has held anywhere. Okay, source minus target, then union target minus source. Okay, and what is one limitation of minus query? Who will tell me? There is one demerit of minus query. What is that?
If it is null record also, it will take actually.
No. Apart from that,
Might not work for more number of records.
no, it will work for more number of records. Even if you have a million records, it will work.
The number of columns should be the same.
Sorry.
The number of columns should be the same.
Sorry, voice is not audible clearly.
Whatever you have mentioned in the columns in select list, the data type should be same. This
Oh, yeah, that is a known fact of minus, that data type and the number of columns must be exactly same. That's a protocol, that's a syntax. So that we cannot tell as a limitation, because that is a syntax, right? Okay, think over that and then tell me. Okay, if that comes to your mind, then tell me. Otherwise, I
It
will.
includes.
Mhm,
Hi
it-
Tanvir, it
yeah, hi.
includes duplicates also.
Perfect. No, no,
We
no.
can't find
It
duplicates.
ignores duplicates. That's the problem.
Yeah, like yeah, for in the target database also like duplicates has been loaded.
If duplicates are there, so that will not tell you that duplicates are there or not. So by default, your minus is having distinct functionality. Okay, by default. So first of all, it will calculate the distinct records, and then on top of that, it will apply minus. So the limitation is, if you have duplicate records, then minus cannot handle that duplicate record is there or not. Okay. So this is a common interview question. That's why I asked you. Okay, so these are the sources of data from where you can get. Nowadays, you have online reviews. Okay, so the companies, they are looking into the reviews as well. So whenever you're going to buy something from e-commerce site, I think you all will be looking into the reviews and the stars and all those things. So that also holds importance. So this was all about sources of data. Okay. Now, the next thing is structured versus unstructured data. Nowadays, we are living in unstructured data, and it's going like anything. Okay, and I think you know the reason for this. Your WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those things are the reason for the growth of this unstructured data. So before proceeding, what is unstructured data? In a very general and basic definition, and structured data are those data which cannot be stored in traditional database system. Okay, traditional database system like Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle database, or any other RDBMS system. RDBMS system is a relational database system. Okay, where it finds some relation. Okay, you might have seen that when we are loading data in table format, rows and columns, all the data they have some relation. As I think I have mentioned earlier as well. Why the Excel is not getting open? What's the problem? Oh, just a minute, guys. There's a problem with this Excel. Just a minute. Yeah. Fine. So what I was telling, I forgot what I was telling, guys. Forgot what I was telling. Yeah, relational database system. Yeah, so here you can see that this record, they have some relation. Okay, if I will tell 500, so it means this is the 500 is a profit made by Delhi restaurant on 1st of December 2021. Okay, so like that, they have all the data have some relation. So that is why it is known as relational database management system. And your structured data can be stored here, but unstructured data you cannot store here. What are your unstructured data? The very simple example is your audio and video files are your unstructured data, but that is not limited to that only. You have some other as well. Nowadays we are living in an unstructured data. Okay, and I think after some time you have to handle this, but whatever project you are going to work, okay, so this will be there. So you should know about this. There is unstructured data. So format, several structured data can have several formats, and unstructured data has huge variety of formats. There are no restrictions, no limitations. Your screenshot, your image, and all those things are unstructured data. You cannot save all those things in your traditional RDBMS system. Data model predefined. You have a predefined model, like in your table, you have a schema, table space, and all those things. But here there is no predefined model. This works on the key value pairs in Hadoop, MapReduce, and all those things. So you have concept of key value pair. Don't go in that detail. Okay, just I'm giving a very high level understanding. So structured data. So you have a concept like they are defined. You have to define it in entity relationship models, or you have to define at a schema level, table space, and all those things. But here there are no that concept of schema, database, and all those things. Okay. The storage, you can store the structured data in data warehouses and database. So that's why I think you all are aware, or you might have heard about data warehouse, database n number of times. Okay, because this is traditionally this is coming down the line. We used to store data in data warehouses. We will see down the line what's the difference between data warehouse and database. Okay, so but just for the timing, try to understand that the structured data is stored in data warehouses and database. Okay. And then to store unstructured data, you have data lake. What is this data lake? It will come in the next slide. We will discuss about that. Relational databases, the structured data in relational databases that's what I mentioned, that it can be stored in your table format, rows and columns. But here you don't have relational database. It works on NoSQL. Here you have SQL language. I think you all know about SQL language. You can write SQL language. You can fetch the data what you want. You can create table, insert, and all those things you can do using SQL language. But in unstructured data, you have NoSQL. NoSQL means not only SQL. Okay, through this language, you can fetch the data and you can do all the manipulations. So SQL language fails while handling the unstructured data. That's why you have a new NoSQL, which is used to fetch the unstructured data, or you can say non-relational databases. There are no relation. Okay. Ease of search, it is easy to search and it's difficult to search because the one of the reason is like the structure is not there, proper schema is not there. Okay, but here if you have 10 tables, and I think those who have worked, if you have 10 tables, so all the 10 tables will be having some primary key and foreign key relationship, and you can extract data from whatever table you want, right? So you have all the relationship present here. But in unstructured data, this is the issue. So guys, this why I'm telling you this. So at least if someone asks you questions, okay, tell me one or two points or one or two difference between a structure and a structured data. So out of this 5 to 6 points, so at least you should know 2 to 3, which word you find it easier. Okay. Quantitative, qualitative. Okay, I will discuss about this. What is quantitative and qualitative? Because unstructured data, I do understand this is having a lot of demerits as well. That is no predefined format, and you have to again when you're storing data, so that's a very overburden to store data. You are just dumping the data. You have a lot of bad quality data as well. Okay, but why it is qualitative, we will discuss this. Analysis method, you have this classification, regression, data clustering. These are the methods through which we use to classify those unstructured data. But here you have the concept of data stacking, data mining, or whatever your data analytics, your data scientists are doing. So those are the analysis methods in unstructured data. But this data mining comes under structured data as well. Okay. Tools and technologies, please remember this is the important point. Tools and technologies. Here you have RDBMS, CRM, OLAP, and OLTP. OLAP is online analytical processing data. OLTP is transaction processing data. At a very high level, OLAP means the historical data, whatever you are storing, and that is for the analysis purpose to understand the trend of the business. OLTP is transaction data, the daily basis data, the daily transaction data, whatever you are storing, that comes under OLTP. Okay, and here it is NoSQL RDBMS, artificial intelligence and all those things, data visualization tools, all those things comes in unstructured data. You have business analysts, software engineers, marketing analysts who works on top of this data. They do some analysis. But here in unstructured data, you have data scientists, engineers, and analysts, and the other researchers. They used to do analysis on top of this. I'm not taking much time on this, guys. Okay, because why I have tried to cover this is because if you're getting this question in the exam in your interview, you should not think that okay, what is unstructured data? I don't have any idea. So out of this 7 to 8 points, whatever I have mentioned, at least you should keep 3 to 4 points in your mind, okay, and at least you should understand that what is the difference between structured and unstructured data, what is the basic difference, okay. So with the basic difference is a structured data, it is something like relational database management system. You can store in your relational database management system your traditional data warehouses and all those things, but unstructured data you cannot store there because this is unstructured, okay, so you have to store that in other formats. Any question on this?
Sir, could you please explain more on OLAP and OLTP? Because
Sure.
in interviews, that is
You
most
will
fair.
get actually, like this is coming down the line, but fine, I will tell you now. Okay. See, OLAP and OLTP, let's try to understand. Very good. This is very common interview question, so you should know this. OLAP, this stands for online analytical Anal- processing data, OLTP. Data. Okay. Now let's try to understand what is OLAP and what is OLTP. Then you will see the difference. Okay. I think when I was teaching you about that load, I have mentioned about the history load and I have mentioned about the current load, right? So this comes under the history load. Fine. And this comes under current load. Now, why history load? Suppose that Delhi restaurant, take the example of that. I started that on 1st December 2002. Okay. No, I have started that in January. So in 1st January 2002. And I was doing all those things on that manual. Okay, manually I was taking the data, I was doing that in Excel and I was doing all the analysis. But then on December, I thought that, okay, this is taking a lot of time. Let's hire someone and who will do all these things for me. And, like I have had that Raghu, okay, he is sending the data to me and then I was doing all the calculations on top of that. Then when Raghu started sending me data from 1st December onwards, I was very much impressed. That, okay, this is a very good technique. He's sending me the data and I will store data in database and I will do some SQL queries and all those things. Everything is fine. Then I thought that, okay, this is going very perfectly. This is good. So why should not I store the data from 1st January till 30 November as well? Okay, because that is also having some data. From that also I can understand that how my business was performing earlier. So from that I can get some information and I can modify the some policies or the rules and regulations of the business, or maybe like I can add some more items. Okay. So then I will ask Raghu that, okay, Raghu, please tell me the data from 1st January 2021 to 30th November 2021 as well. Okay. You understood the scenario? Why I want this data? Who will tell me why I want this data from 1st January 2021 till 30th November 2021?
Because you want to know how much how business performs in those periods.
Perfect. Because from 1st December 2021 onwards, I have the data, daily basis data I have, but I don't know that what happened here. I have this data as well, but all this data was in a notepad or slip or bill and all those things. Okay. But from those bill slips and all those things, it is difficult to do some analysis, correct? So that's why I thought that, okay, if all the data which is present in those slips, bills, and on whatever it may be, if I will load all the data in a database, then I can apply SQL query and I can understand that how my business was performing earlier, right? So that's why I need the data from 1st January till 30th November 2021. Okay, and this will help me to do some analysis and that will be likely to understand how the trend was and all those things. Okay, so this is known as analytical processing, because you are loading the history data to understand how your business was performing, and you can do some analysis on top of that. So guys, this is known as OLAP, online analytical processing data. And generally your data warehouse, what you know like data warehouse, this works on this concept only. So whenever you are hearing the concept of data warehouse, so you should understand that, okay, this is something where they are going to load the history data, maybe some 10 years data, 20 years data, like that. Okay, once I was working in a project, okay, and they were having a requirement that I want data from the last 15 years as well. Okay, so we were thinking that why he want those 15 years data. So they want to understand that how business was performing earlier. So maybe they would have taken some good decisions earlier, and because of that, there was some good profit they have made. So that's why they want to understand that what all things they have done. So OLAP means you are going to load history data, okay? And why? Because you want to do some analysis. You want to understand the trend which was there earlier. And data warehouse, it comes under this OLAP only. Any question on this OLAP? No? If no, then in OLTP, you have the concept of data. I'm just telling you very high level, that will come in the slide as well. So we'll discuss that in more detail. Okay. OLTP, transaction data, your daily basis data, what you have seen here. Here. 1st December, Raghu has sent me data, right? Then again on 2nd December, he will send me next day data. 3rd December, he will send me next day data. So the daily basis data, whatever is getting loaded now, so that is known as transactional data. Okay. You can do analysis on top of this as well. But here the analysis will be far better. Why?
History load is also.
Because you have a huge volume of data here. So that will help you to understand the history. Okay. Suppose if you will ask me that, Tanvir, okay, show me your 7th semester marks card. I will show you my 7th semester marks. And I suppose I have scored 60%. Okay. So from that, you cannot make a trend. Okay. And if I will show you the marks card from 1st till 8th semester. Okay. In 1st semester, I got 65%. 2nd semester, I got 70%. 3rd semester, I got 60%. 4th semester, I got 65%. 5th semester, I got maybe 58%. Like that, 7th semester, I got 68%. And 8th semester, I got again 72%. So from this, what you understood? From this train, what you understood? Who will tell me? Try to apply your analytical mind. Come on, yeah, this is not a tough question. Simple.
Average.
How you
First
are
semester,
performing year by year,
yeah.
semester by semester.
So what you understood, what you will think about my performance? Come on, guys.
Performance got increased.
Huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, so from this, no, from this train, at least you can understand that, okay, Tanvi was not the topper of his class, right? First thing, because maybe topper will have scored 80 or something, 90 or something like that, right? He was not the topper. But one thing is clear, he was a consistent performer. You can see the performance is consistent. That is between 60 to 20%, right? And you know, like in interviews, this is one of the parameter to accept or reject a candidate. If you have this consistent performer, so that will make a good remark. But suppose in 1st semester I got 90 percentage, okay, and 2nd semester I got 65 percentage. Now there is something which is difficult to digest. The interviewer will ask you that, oh, okay, why it has dropped from 90 to 65. They will think that, okay, this is, he is not a consistent performer. Okay, so whatever it may be, so once you have some history data, you can make an analysis, you can understand the behavior of that particular student, that how he was behaving, right? Similarly, if I will give you the marks of 10th and 12th as well, that will give a more clear picture, right? Is that clear?
Yeah, clear.
So that's why I mentioned that in OLAP, it's better to do the analysis, because you have a huge volume of data, huge volume in the sense you have a data of a large period. Okay, you have a big bandwidth of data from which you can do the analysis. But in OLTP, you're getting data on a daily basis, right? So maybe like in Diwali season, transaction will be more, you will get more profit. Okay, and some off seasons. Okay, transaction will be less, you will get less profit. But it's difficult to make an analysis. So that's the difference between OLTP and OLAP. Okay, and OLTP works on current load, and OLAP it's totally history load. You're loading historical data, and there are no limitations. 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, no limitations. It totally depends on project to project. Okay, any question, guys? At least you got an idea, high level. That's what is OLAP and what is OLTP. Okay, if any question comes to your mind, please ask me. Okay, any other point which you want me to cover here? Any other apart from OLAP and OLTP? Is this clear? Here, anything? Anyone?
Yeah, clear.
Clear? Okay, perfect. Moving to the next one, examples. A structured data are your dates, right? Date of birth, your phone number, your name, your transaction data. These are the example of a structured data, and I think I have shown you here as well. Name, date, phone number, your transactional numbers, and all those things. So these are the example of a structured data. So if you're getting that, okay, tell me some example of your structured data. Then you can tell my indicative information. Indicative information means my name, my date of birth, my location, my birthplace, my hometown, my mobile number, and all this, my salary, and all these things are structured data. What is semi-structured data? The data what you're getting in HTML format, XML format, okay, JSON, so server logs, your CCTV logs. This comes under semi-structured data. And this is your unstructured data like TXT, PDF, images. Okay, videos, email. These are your unstructured data. Okay, why I'm telling that email is unstructured data? What is the reason for this?
It consists of like both images, attachment, and
Yeah,
text file.
email can have attachments, right? It can have that HTTP link as well. You might have seen that email. You have that link attached, right? And that's why you cannot store this in traditional database system. Okay, so that's why these are considered as unstructured data. These are few of the examples which you should know. Hope this is clear. Okay, moving to the next one, data lake versus data warehouse. I've told you earlier that we'll come to the data lake. From this picture, what you understand, guys? I hope this is visual, no?
Yeah.
Okay, what you can understand from this picture? Tell me. Oh, sorry. Tell me. Who will tell me this picture? What you understood from this? This is a data lake, and this is data warehouse, data mart. Come on, yeah, very simple.
Data warehouse consists of filtered water.
Filtered water, yeah, very good.
Here it is not filtered, I think.
Not filtered. Okay, this is like a dump. You had this is data lake. Okay, all things will be there. Okay, right? But here this is Aquafina bottle, means you have very filtered water. So and very limited water is there. But here there is no limitation, right? First thing. Now, second thing, you are not sure about the purity of this. Okay, but here you are sure about the purity of this. Here you are not sure from how many sources water is getting dumped into this data lake, right? But here maybe the one source only, Aquafina, they will be having some storage. From there, the water is coming into this bottle. Okay, so this is known as data warehouse or data mart, or maybe database as well. But this is data lake, okay, which I have mentioned you earlier. And this is data lake because why? Nowadays you are getting data from multiple sources. Okay, you don't have any limitation on that. Volume, you are not sure, it's going like anything. Suppose think about the YouTube servers. Okay, how many data they are going to process on a daily basis? I think you can understand, right? N number of users, million of users, they're posting videos on a daily basis on YouTube platform, right? So how so you can understand that volume of data which is getting generated on a daily basis. That's example of data lake. Okay, and data warehouse, data mart, or database, it's very limited. Your source is limited. Okay, you are sure this is defined, but here it is not defined. So that is known as data lake, and this is the new world actually. Okay, because you cannot tell that, okay, no, I am not going to process that YouTube sorry, video data. Okay, maybe you will get a chance to work in that YouTube. Okay, so they will ask you that, okay, this is the data, you have to process this. You cannot tell that, okay, I cannot process, I am working on structured data, so I don't know that how to process and all these things. So this is going to the new world, data lake. You should know how to process unstructured data as well. You should know that if huge volume of data is coming, how to handle that. Okay, hope that makes sense. Any question on this slide? Okay, if no question, let's continue on this. Little bit more about data lake. Data lake is like from, you can see you have something in bottom here and something at top. So bottom means you are getting data from all the sources, on premises data moment, real time data moment. Okay, forget about all premise and real time, whatever it is. Again, the same thing. Data lake, you are not sure what all other sources from the data will be injected into this n number of sources. Okay, maybe that will be the data of your own organization, or maybe you are getting data from other sources. Okay, so you have to dump data from all the sources in this data lake. Okay, and once you have data, then on top of, once you have processed this data, then on top of that, your machine learning, your analytics, all these things works on top of this. So if you're good in Python, you're good in statistics, so you can work on this machine learning, analytics, and data scientists, and all this portfolios. Any question, guys? At least you got a flavor of data lake, what I'm trying to tell you. Anyone who will tell me that one simple example between data lake and data warehouse? Come on, guys. Or else tell me why we have a new concept of data lake these days. What is the reason? Who will start? I think you guys are not understood. I need to repeat. Yeah.
So the sources for the data warehouse are limited, whereas data lake having n number of data sources.
Very good. Why data lake have n number of sources? What is the reason? Who will answer this? Because nowadays we are getting data from multiple social media sites as well, right? Such as WhatsApp, YouTube, Google platform, your CCTV output, your log files, your Twitter account, and all those things. So you have huge volume of data coming from multiple sources, and your traditional database, they cannot handle this. Why? Why they cannot handle this data from this social media sites?
Those are like unstructured data.
Unstructured data.
Very good, because this data which is getting generated from this social media sources are unstructured data. So your traditional database management system, they cannot store those data. Okay, because they are unstructured. Or you can tell your traditional database management system can store data which are having some relation, like in rows and columns and tables format, and your audios, your videos, images, you cannot store in table format. Okay, fine, guys. Any
Yeah,
questions?
fine.
Come on, ask some questions. If you're not asking question, no, so it is saying that no study, no confusion. So if no question is coming to your mind, it means you have not understood. So come on, ask some questions. Okay, fine. So again, I think this is same. Why I have
So I
repeated
have a
this?
question here.
Yeah,
So
sure. Tell me.
how
Mhm.
how they are merging the structured data and as well as unstructured data into one place? Is there any logic behind that? Because uh, how can we merge images and as well as some records from the database in the data
Correct,
lake?
correct. Very good. So the question is that you are going to mix, maybe like in data lake, I have shown you that we are not sure what are the sources. So maybe the data from structured data, and data unstructured data, they both are coming in this lake, because I have told that we are not sure that from what all sources data is coming and what is the nature of that. So we have both structured data and unstructured data here, and they all are mixed up. Then how you are segregating this? I hope this is the question.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect, very good. This is one of the challenges of data lake. It will come, I think, after 2 to 3 slides. This is one of the challenges of data lake, that you have mixed set of data, structured and unstructured both. The segregation is a big challenge, but yeah, we have technologies like I told you about, like you can store this in HDFS, okay, Hadoop, MapReduce, and you have the concept of key value pair. So based on that, we used to segregate this data in structured and unstructured data. Again, it is suggested that when you are dumping data in your data lake, continuously you should segregate that in a structured and unstructured data, because you are only dumping it and you're not segregating it. So after some time, it becomes very difficult to segregate it. That will come in the next slide, 2 to 3 slides. Okay, then we'll discuss about that. And we have the technologies that I told you about, that map reduce key value pairs. Okay, through those you can segregate that. I think you might have heard about a snowflake. And nowadays snowflake database we have, on which means it's group is growing like anything. So that also can handle both the structured and unstructured data. Okay, any other questions? No. Okay. So this is an example of your structured or your traditional database management system. And this is something like data lake or unstructured. This is your database, and data is coming from multiple sources. Okay. And they can be structured or unstructured both. But traditional systems, you have data in like table formats, they have columns and all those things. They have the relations as well. You see the username is here, username is present here as well. If this from user column is present here, so this will be present somewhere else. So in traditional database system, if you have 10 tables, so all those 10 tables will be having some relation, okay, to one and the other. Okay, now this is something about data warehouse and data lake. Data warehouse means think first, load later. In data warehouse or database, we are very specific. Okay, first of all, we will discuss that how many sources are there, from what all sources you want data, then only you will start loading. I think I have told you this earlier as well, that when you are going to start a data warehouse, a database project, the first thing which you have to ask to your business analyst, that how many sources are there from which we are going to get data, right? So first of all, you are doing analysis. If they will tell that, okay, we will send you data from 5 sources only, okay, maybe they are having 10 sources from which business is operating, but they want that, no, we want data from 5 sources only, that is relevant for us. So here you are first of all thinking that, okay, I want data from 5 sources only, and then you are going to start load. Okay, but in data lake, no, you don't have to think. You will load all the data from all the sources. Then you will think that out of these sources, what all data is important or is relevant to you. Okay, understood the first difference? Now, can you tell me why in data lake, first of all, we are loading data from all the sources? What is the reason? What's the benefit we are getting here? Come on, guys. The reason is, in data lake, we are doing something like research or analysis. We want to understand the business trend, and we don't want to miss any data. That's the main philosophy of data lake. We don't want to miss it a single grain of data. So that's why we are going to load all the data. So first all the data is loaded. So we are assured that, okay, now I have all the data in my database. And then we will think that, okay, out of this, what I want. And then we will start processing that. Okay. Then why? So why this is happening? Because maybe after some time, 1 or 2 months, you will think that, okay, that data is also important for me. So let's process that as well. That's when data lake, you don't want to miss any data. Yeah, that's why you are loading all the data. But data warehouse, you are specific that no, only this 5 sources data I want to do analyze. I'm not bothered about the remaining 5 sources. So let's load that first. Okay. Data warehouse is structured data. The same thing is coming again. Data warehouse means is structured data. Data lake, it can handle your structured data, your semi-structured data, or your unstructured data as well. That's the picture which I have shown you earlier. That's a good representation of this. I've shown you there that you are not sure from where it is coming. That can be multiple sources, and that can be a structured, unstructured, or semi-structured, whatever it may be. Okay. Then you have expensive. Okay, now tell me. You have a. I'm giving you 2 scenarios. Then you will tell me which one fits in data warehouse and which one fits in data lake. Okay. First scenario, big bazaar. Okay. First scenario is big bazaar. Second one is a Reebok showroom. Which one is data lake and which one is data warehouse?
Buzzer is data.
Big bazaar is
Data lake,
data lake and Reebok is
data
Data
warehouse.
warehouse.
data warehouse, right? Why you told big bazaar is data lake?
Lots and lots of items.
Because you have,
N number of sources.
yeah, because you have all the means possible means items you can find in big bazaar, right? You can find clothes as well. Okay, you have that household departmental items as well. You can find shoes as well. All those things, means most of the things you can find there. Even you can find those utensils as well. You can find electronic item as well, electrical items as well, right? But if you go in Reeboks, maybe you can find t-shirts, or maybe you can trousers, or you can find that shoes only. So that's why they're very specific. So that example of data warehouse or database. But big bazaar is like a data lake. N number of sources, n number of items, right? Expensive for large data storage, built for low cost storage. Oh, you might be confused here that why this is. What's the reason? This is expensive and this is low cost. Why? See, why this is expensive is, I will give a few examples. Okay. Uh, First of all, the reason for this is too expensive is you are very specific here. Okay, that okay, I want in this data only this sources should be there. You're doing calculations, you're applying logic, you're creating a schema, you have to hire a technical architect who has to design, who has to plan everything. Okay, but here no planning, no designing, no schema, nothing. Get data from all the sources, and then on top of that you will have some data scientists who will do the analysis. But here you have multiple, means you have to think at each and every layer, at each and every phase. Suppose you have a godown. Okay, so you are thinking that okay, whatever items I am getting in a truck, let's dump directly in a godown. Don't think where you have to keep it. Start dumping by cartons. Okay, you have bought some items. Maybe you bought two carton items from Big Bazaar. It is not like that you will start dumping in your dining space. Okay, you will think that okay, this item has to be kept at this place. This item will be kept at this place. So you are specific there, right? So you are doing calculation there. That is time consuming. So that is why this is known as this is expensive. And one more reason is so your database on which it works, they are the licensed one, whether it's Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, whatever it may be. But here it is open source, your Hadoop, MapReduce. Okay, these are open source. So that's why this is low cost, but this is expensive. Guys, any questions? Are you getting? Are you understanding? Or these things are new for you and you're unable to understand? Anyone who wants to add? Are you getting these concepts? Who will tell me?
Yes, sir.
Sandeep, are you getting understanding these things?
Yeah.
Or anyone who thinks that okay, this is totally new, I'm not getting what is speaking, what is structured, what is unstructured, suddenly what new thing came? Anyone like this?
You guys are getting this concepts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, see, I'm not going in detail. Okay, I'm just giving a very high level flavor because nowadays interviewers they're asking these questions. Okay, because slowly all the organizations they are moving on cloud. They're moving on handling unstructured data. Okay, so you cannot stick only to ETL. That okay, I just want to understand ETL, but you should know little bit. Don't go that much technical, but you should know little bit because you never know. In interview they can ask these questions. Okay. This is less agile. Less agile means this is rigid. Why this is rigid? Because it is having a specific schema. It is having a specific sources. It is having that specific table space and all those things. So everything is well planned here, right? Suppose you have a marriage ceremony. It has been agreed that you'll be having 200 guests will be coming. So you will do all the arrangement, all the accommodation as per the 200 guests, right? But at the last moment, you got information that no, you will be having 300 guests. So it will be difficult for you. You will tell that no, it's difficult for me to accommodate 300 because everything has been planned as per 200. Correct now? But here it is highly agile, flexible. I have already told you, no planning, no limited sources, no thought about whether it is a structure, whether it is unstructured, or whatever it may be. Okay, this is like you might have seen that you have free food sometime. No, maybe during COVID times you might have seen that many organizations they are distributing free foods. Okay, so they are not bothered that the audience or the person who are coming they are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, right? They are feeding everyone, and they are not bothered that how many person will come. So they are cooking and they're feeding like anything. So that is like a data lake. They are flexible, no planning, nothing. So they thought that okay, I will distribute 50 packets, so or 100 packets. So if 200 will come, so that's not an issue. We will tell that okay, we have only 100, and that's all. But here it is not like that. If you have committed 200, so you have to do admin for 200. Okay, so that's the thing. Operational reporting suits business users, suits data scientists. Yeah. So that's why this data lake is like anything. This is coming like anything, guys. Okay, and this is going to rule the market for sure. Okay, this is something for advanced analytics, and this is operational reporting, a specific reporting, few reports, limited reports. Okay, this is matured. Yeah, data warehouse is not matured. It started in the era of 1970s. So it's like close to 50 years. It is matured. But data lake, it's a new concept. It started almost 15 to 20 years back. Okay. Still it is maturing. It will take time to mature. Okay. Any question? Last call. No. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Social data can be sales, assets, revenues, and all those things. Formative data can be .c. I'm repeating the same thing. .csv, .dat, MS SQL Server, JSON, .xml. Okay. JSON is JavaScript object notation. It works again on the key value pair. These are the valid JSON data types. Now this is an example of JSON. I think these things are not that much important for you, but just I have added this slide. This is the example of JSON. From this you can go first name and all those things. But the example of Excel, what I have shown you, that was in a horizontal format, and here giving this format. So you can get data in this format as well. You can see you have HTTP link and everything here. Now the extraction is like you are extracting data. Guys, just a minute. I think someone is knocking at my door. Just a minute. Okay, I think that is clear, right? Any question on that? Okay. So this is again a slide on extraction. Okay, I think so far whatever we have seen that was under the extraction only. Okay, we are extracting data from multiple sources, and we have seen what all of the possible sources and what are the validations we have to do and everything. Any questions? This is the last call, guys. Okay,
So this is data extraction. You can have multiple sources. Okay, you can see you have multiple sources, and in all the sources you will gather data, then you will do some analysis, and this can be the data source, and for on top of this you're doing your analysis. WinZip. Okay. Okay, let me show you this. WinZip, I think I have not shown you this one. I'm not sure if I have shown you this or not. Anyone who remembers if I have shown you this one? No. Anyone who has worked on this application, WinZip?
No.
No one? Okay. You see, this is a very common tool, and in any ETL project, WinZip. Okay. The purpose of this tool is like you can move data, you can move file from one location to another location. Okay. You have to give your host name, your username, your password, and all those things. And once you will log in, so you will get this site. Okay. Then this page will be opened. Now you can see this has been divided in two parts. This part is left pane, and this is your right pane. Okay. The left pane is showing your local system directories on the folders, and the right will show you your Unix server, your Unix path, and all those things. So the only, I will not tell the only, but one of the important application of this WinZip is you can move your file from one location to another location. You can edit, you cannot, yeah, little bit you can edit your file here as well. You can change the name of the file, you can give permissions and all those things. So I just thought of showing you this, that maybe if you get this application in your project, so you should not be surprised at what this is this new thing. So all these things you can do. You can move file from your local to your here, or from here to here you can move, and that is totally based on your permissions, so whatever you have. So this was all about WinZip applications. Okay. Any question on this, guys? Is this clear or not? You want me to repeat this one?
In which scenario we use this?
Okay, very good.
In
So,
ETL perspective.
so once you have received source file, okay, you received source file from the source team. I've told you, no, that you're receiving source file from the source team. Source file will send you those, source team will send you those source files at a particular Unix location. I mentioned you earlier. So here you will get, so you have to go to that location. Okay, you can see this one, no? This small box is there. So this is showing you that path. So from this you can go to that path, and all the files will be visible here. Here you can see that all the files has been received or not. So manually you can see how many files are there. You can check the naming conventions as well. Okay, so this is the application of this WinZip. And suppose you want to do some modification in the data, so you can modify the data. You want to copy the data in your local system, you can drag and drop from here directly, and it will be copied. You can, if you want to move this from here to here like that, it can be moved. Okay, so it is like you can play with the source file what you have received from the source team here, and you can see that the file has been received or not. Okay, this is the use of this WinZip application. This is a tool. Is this clear?
Tanvir, this one actually connected to Unix and Windows both.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. You can, from this, you can connect to your Unix putty. You have one more putty terminal. So you can connect to putty as well. And from there, you can apply your Unix commands. I think I have told you yesterday that how you can automate everything, right? So you can apply your Unix commands, and from there you can write your automation scripts. If you want to, and the jobs, if you want to run any job, no, you can run job as well. You need to connect from here, or you can open a new putty terminal, and there you can run your jobs. Is this clear? Any other question, guys? Okay, no questions.
Means like in Unix, or if a file is there, we can copy to our local system also, or like.
You can, miss that application is like, you can see that the files which has been received from the source team. That's the one thing you can see here. It will be visible here. Okay, on this part, this is a Unix server, Unix box, and you can, if you want to move those files, you can move to some other location of Unix or to your local machine. Okay, if you want to change some data, I think we have discussed yesterday, no, that sometime we have to change the data, we have to modify the data as per the test cases. So that you can do as well in that file. So you can play with the file. You can update, delete, whatever you want, you can do it here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Clear.
Right. Just I have shown you this, that maybe if you're going to work in a project, if you're getting this, no, so you should be aware that, okay, what is this WinZip application? That should not be new for you. This was WinZip. It stands for Windows Secure
So,
Copy. Yeah.
In the scenario of creating test data from the source files, so we are able to in uh, testing environment, we are able to copy the source files into the local drive, and we have to create the test data, right? Without
Yeah.
changing the data in the source file, actual source file.
Correct, correct. See, suppose this is your actual source file. Okay, suppose, assume this is the source file and this is the data. This is the data. Okay. Now, yesterday you might remember that we were discussing that, okay, if profit is not there, then how the system or how the job will behave. So you can delete this data in the source file, and then you can run the job again. So you are going to modify the data and you want to test a scenario. So that's what I told. You can modify the data and again you can check a particular scenario, whatever you want to test. So it is like you can play with the data. It's very simple. Like suppose I have this particular folder and I suppose this is the file which I have received from the source team, right? I can open this file. I can do some modifications in this if I want. Okay. So that's what I told you. You can do the modifications or whatever you want. You can do it here in that WinZip
Yeah,
application.
I got that point. But my question is that instead of making the changes in the actual source file, why can't we copy that file into the some
Perfect,
other
perfect.
location
Very
by
good,
using
very good.
WinZip and
Correct.
doing?
Actually, we should do that only. Actually, we should not do any modification in the original file. You are correct. Okay, we should take a copy of that. Okay, and then we should do the modification in that copied file. You are correct. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, another question, like so we're copying the source file and making some changes to it,
Mhm.
and while running the job, do we so the job like designed for the particular path, right?
Mhm.
If the file is
Correct.
present in that path only, it will take, right? So
Correct, correct. Very good. You have
we're
to
changing the
keep
path.
that file in that particular path only. That's very important. Yeah. If that file you have changed and you have kept at some other path, so your job will fail. It will tell that the file is not present at that location because your job will search at that particular location only. Okay, it will not search at any other location. That's correct. Okay. If I answered your question.
Yeah, Tanir.
Yeah.
Yeah, then where is the source file we need to put there? Like in particular path, the copy of that source file is there, right?
Mhm.
Then what about the original source file?
Original source. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I got your point. I got your point. Okay. Let's do one thing. Suppose, very good. Source. Fine. Suppose, assume this is the location, okay, where it has been agreed that the source team will send the source file, right? Suppose. And here on a particular day, the source team has sent me this source file. Okay, let me mark this 10th of December. Very good question. Okay, 10th of December, I have received this source file, and this is the original file. Ideally, we should not do any modification in the original file. I think you all know this is a very common concept. We should not do any modification in the original file. What I will do, I will copy it and I will paste it here. Perfect. And now I have done some modification in this source file. I think I've taken some other file or whatever. Okay. Suppose I have done some modification in the source file. Okay. Now, two things are there. If I will run the job, okay. Now the job, so okay, I have done the modification here. This is the modified file. Now, can I keep this file at some other location? Suppose I will keep this file at the or at this location. Is this correct?
No, the coding will be there like for to the particular path.
Very good. The job will search at this location only. Okay, because in the coding in the job, the developers has mentioned that the file will be present at this location. Please search for the file at this location only. Okay, so it will not go and search at this location. First thing. So you have to keep the file at the mentioned location only. So file must be present here only. Okay, first thing, this is clear, I think, right? Now, suppose I have kept the file here. Now I want the job to pick this file. Then what will happen? Whether it will pick this file or it will not pick this file. Tell me.
Yeah, it will take.
No, it will not take. Why?
Is it? It will go according to the naming.
No,
Format
yeah.
issues.
Here the naming is not correct, right? It was
Format,
agreed
Yeah.
that the naming should be like restaurant underscore location, then date, right? So here the job will see that, okay, underscore copy is also present there, but the developer has mentioned that this copy will not be there, only restaurant underscore location and date will be there. So it will not pick this file, correct? Now what you will do? You have to rename this.
Yeah.
You have to rename this, right? Now, what's the problem? If I will keep it like this, you will have duplicate files.
Yeah, duplicate.
So now duplicate files, if you will keep, I think we have discussed that scenario. Again, that is a problem, right? Correct, no? So
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
what you can do is take the original file. So what I used to do, that's what I'm telling you, very safer side game. Okay, take the original file, keep it at some other location for the time being. Okay, time being, and then rename this file, run the job. Job will pick this file. It will load the data, and whatever testing you want, you complete it. Okay, once your testing is over, delete this file from here, or keep it at some other location, whatever you want. Now bring the original file again from here to this particular location. So like this you can do it. Is that clear?
Yeah, like what happen if we create one folder and we can like create one folder name as original source file. Then we can move to the original source file to that folder. Is it possible like that the same path itself?
Original, you see, this path means the job, the file which you want to run, first of all, that should be present in this path. First rule. Okay, the file which you want to run, that should be present in this path. So the job will pick the file from this path only. Okay.
Yeah, in this path only, the whatever the modified source file, it is there actually.
Mhm.
In that only we can create another folder named as an original source file. Then we can move to that original source file to that folder, right?
This
If
is what you're telling.
Yeah, like original source
Perfect.
file. In that original source file is there, and then whatever the modified is there, that will be outside of the original folder.
Perfect. You can do this as well. This is also a good idea. You will move the original source file here, right? And you will keep the modified file here. That is also correct. But when you want to run the job to pick the original source file, then you have to move that original source file from this location to this location. If you want to run that original source file again, okay, then you have to move that from the original source file folder to this folder.
Actually, after we modified, why we need original source file?
No, I'm just telling that maybe if you want, if you don't want, no issue, keep it here in the original source file only. Okay, but maybe if you want to check that, okay, let's run that original source file again, so you have to take it from this location and you have to keep at this location. So the main crux is the location which has been discussed, which has been agreed. So you have to keep your file which you want to run
at that location. That's all. And the other files, you place it anywhere, wherever you want. You want to create a new folder here, you create a new folder, place it here. You want to keep your file at some other location, you can keep at some other location as well, your wish. There are no restrictions on that. But the file which you want to run, that has to be present at this location only, because this has been agreed, and based on this agreement, your developer has coded this path in their job. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Any other question, guys?
Tanvir, actually, you told like for modified file. Here, what it refers to means like in the negative scenario, what you told, like that scenario, that cases only it is said to be modified or what?
Yeah. You see, just a minute. I think this is the file. Let me remove this. Okay. 1 minute here. 1 minute. Okay, this is the one. Okay. This file has this data. This is not having the data. This one. Okay. Suppose delete this one for the time being. Suppose this is the file. Okay, let me rename this restaurant, and maybe this is for Bangalore, and the date is, it will be 10th. Okay, this is a source file which I have received today from the source team. Okay, and this is present in this location. Now, why this file is present in this location?
Because they already agreed. We have
Very
to
good.
put this file in this location.
Very good. Because this has been agreed with the source team that the source file what you are going to send me on a daily basis, that should be present in this location only. So today the source team from Bangalore, they have sent this source file, and this is present at this location. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you open this file. You open this file. Okay. Let me make this Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore. Keep this as well, Bangalore. Okay, you open this file and you have seen, okay, this is the data. Fine. Then you thought that, okay, it was agreed with the business that if profit column is null or data is not present, then the job should fail. I think we have discussed this scenario yesterday.
Yeah, this
right? That if any column which has been agreed with the business, if that is missing, then the job should, the job will not fail. That record will be rejected. I think this is a scenario we have discussed yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You guys remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You opened this file, and then you thought that, okay, there was one more scenario where it was discussed that if the profit is missing, that record should fail. Okay. And you're interested in testing that particular scenario. Okay. So how you will test that? Tell me.
We have to delete the
taking the copy of that file.
Very good. Very good. So first of all, you will think that, okay, don't disturb this file. Okay. This is the original file. Always we all don't want to disturb the original documents, right? Don't disturb it. Take a copy of it. So you will take a copy, Control C. You will take a copy of this. Now where you will store this copy, where you will save this copy?
Yeah, somewhere outside.
Somewhere outside, wherever you want, but it should not be present here. You want to place it here, you can place it here. Or if you want to create a new folder here, I think someone has suggested me a very good suggestion. And okay, I will create a new folder here. And in this folder, I will keep the original file. Correct? Correct, no?
Yeah.
So now you have a backup of this file. Now you are on a safer side. Now you can play with this file. Now you are thinking that, okay, I should test that scenario. So what you will do with this profit 600?
Yeah, by adding that value and or
You
if
will
I first
delete
I will
this,
run that.
right? You will
Yes,
delete
yes,
this
yes.
profit, okay, and then you will save the file. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you will think that, okay, now I have deleted this profit. Profit is not present. Okay. Now what you will do after this? You will run the job. Okay.
Yeah.
After you will run the job will pick this file or not?
Yeah, it will take.
It will take this file
Yeah, it will take.
because it has already been agreed that the file is present at this location and the file is present at this location. Everything is correct. See, again, I'm repeating, you have to be very specific with the file location. You have to be very specific with the file location. If it has been agreed that the file will be present at this location, okay, so you have to keep the file at this location only. If the file you have kept at some other location, then what will happen?
It will not take that
Job
file.
fail.
Job will not run.
Job will
Yeah.
fail.
Fail.
It will throw you an error message that the file was not present at the specified location. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you will run the job will pick this file, it will open it. Now it will see that, okay, profit is not there. So ideally, this record should not be loaded. That is the expectation, correct?
Yeah.
Correct, no? And after that, you can test whatever you want. If still it is getting loaded, then that's a fail. You will raise a defect and all those things will happen. But this is the process. You have to go in this format. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, clear.
Any other question? Okay, very good. You have asked good questions. But really, that was very good. Perfect. So this was WinZip application. No, what I have shown you WinZip application. Don't get afraid of this. The very simple application. You have to like this only. Just click on open. Okay. After this, you will see this pop-up window is coming, right? You can see login here, pop-up window. You have to give your host name. This host name will be given by your project manager or who is there in the project. They will share the host name with you. You'll be having username and password. Just enter these details and this login button will be enabled. Click on that. So once you will click on this now, so automatically this window, which is like shaded now, okay, this will be enabled and this will show you the different Unix paths. Okay, Unix locations. Like here you can see, the locations of my local machine. From here I can move to one location and the other location, right? You can see this. I can change to different locations from here, correct? So similarly, here you have this drill down button. From here you can move to different locations. So from here you can go to the source file location. You can verify that today I have received the source files or not. You can edit the files as well here. Okay, that's the only thing. Okay, so exactly what I have shown you here, that you can copy source file from one location to another location. You've seen that I have copied source file from here to original source file folder, right? Then I have shown you that I have opened this source file and I have done some modification here. So guys, that is the only use of this WinZip application. Nothing else. This is nothing like coding platform. They're going to do coding. No, nothing like that. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Okay, any question, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So this was all about WinZip. You can say this is open source. Even if you want, you can download it now on your local machine. Files transfer between local and remote computer. You can do the file transfer between your local computer and remote computer. Maybe it's like Unix server, Unix box. Works on SSHs. You have secure shell protocol. Can perform basic operation with files. See what I mentioned. You can perform basic operation with files. Don't think that is a coding platform. You're going to write code and all those things. No, just you can play with the files, open a file, do some modifications, rename a file, change the file permissions and all those things. That's all. And this is the screenshot what I have shown you here. Okay. Okay. This is the putty terminal. I will show you tomorrow what is putty. What is this? So why I'm showing you this tools? No, maybe like if you will start working, you should know beforehand that, okay, this is the thing, this is the function of this thing. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Last call. Any question, any feedback? You understood today or not? because I've given you some flavor of those unstructured data, data lake, and all those things. Was that clear?
Yeah, clear.
And don't
Yeah.
think that Tanveer is teaching all these things. This is not a part of it. Please don't think that I'm not a mad. I don't have extra time that I will teach you all those things. Okay, I'm teaching all those things for your sake only, because nowadays trend is changing. Apart from ETL, you should know these concepts as well. Okay, that happens 5 years or 10 years back. That they will, if they're asking for ETL, they will ask questions from ETL only. Now it is changing. They will ask you questions from this perspective. They will check that the candidate knows these concepts or not, because many organizations know they're giving training on this new technology landscape. That's why they want to check that you know these things or not. Okay, fine. So if no questions, so I think we are good to close for today's. Okay, I think to this Friday. Okay, so I think we will meet again next week Monday. I think this was the second, yeah, close to 1.5 week. I think we have covered, no, 1.5, yeah. We started last week on Friday, I think, yeah. So next one more week I want. So next week Monday till Friday. Okay, I will try to finish by Friday. Okay, so thank you guys. So let's meet again on Monday at the same time soon. Meanwhile, please keep on asking questions, and I will share some questions, some assignments today as well on that WhatsApp group. Please share your thoughts, share your answers. Okay, share your responses. Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.